Christmas in our family, Bert Finn, and I'm going to screw up some of the pronunciation.
That's okay.
You'll have to help me. When I was a boy, Christmas was very much a family affair and very much a matter of custom. As I look back on it now, the Christmas season always opened with a baking spree. For 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas, my mother and Maggie are baked cookies almost every day. By Christmas, they had literally bushels of cookies. And we had come home from school or from play outdoors to be greeted with the delicious odors of baking spices. The whole house was permeated with the smell. There were always springeries?
Close enough.
Close enough. Zimster?
Yeah. I've looked them up.
Pfeiffermoose? Okay, Hermits, molasses cookies, ginger snaps, orange sticks, and sugar cookies. They tasted best when they were still warm. These cookies were stored in large tin boxes and in dish pans, etc., covered with towels. They were distributed rather sparsely before Christmas, but very liberally after Christmas. My mother gave cookies to her family and friends, and they were always served to our guests at Christmas time. In our family, Christmas Eve was the big day of the season. Christmas Day itself was an anticlimactic, for Santa Claus had already come to our house. We ate in the middle of the afternoon, and this menu never varied. Oyster stew and Swiss cheese. After eating, we went into the room that had been kept closed for several days for Santa Claus and exchanged presents. Very shortly after this, we went to our grandmother Finn's house, where we were joined by Uncle Roy's family. Here, presents were again exchanged and refreshments were served. Following this, we all went to Uncle Roy's house, where presents were also exchanged. After, more refreshments, and then we went to church for the Christmas Eve service. After church, the entire Engelbrett, I'm doing okay here, family gathered at my grandfather Engelbrett's house. Here, my Aunt Clara served a late supper, which was notable in that the children were always served first. There had to be a reason for that. There were a lot of traditions in the menu. I recall there was always country link sausage, ham, hot potato salad. Clara made excellent fudge and always served certain kinds, especially a white vanilla fudge that no one seems to be able to match today. And stuffed dates rolled in sugar and more cookies and fresh fruit, etc. After the meal, we gathered in the living room where Grandpa read a Christmas prayer in German, and we exchanged gifts. Grandpa's gift to his grandchildren never varied. We all got a shiny silver dollar and a big round pillbox that we got from Freiberger's drugstore. There you go, honey. You finished.
Before going home, the entire family joined in singing the whole range of Christmas carols, Claire accompanying us on that piano. Some were sung in English, but the old traditional German carols such as O Tannenbaum, Still Not, I think that's Silent Night in German. Okay. Were always sung in German, and incidentally, we sang a few which I seldom hear today in English. My generation did not speak German, but we knew most of these carols. Clara had a few German hymn books we could crib from. On Christmas Day, the Finn family would all went to Grandma Finn's for the day. For Christmas dinner, she always had roast goose with all the trimmings. She's always a Lady Baltimore cake. She always had a Lady Baltimore cake from Mrs. Coleman. When we were small, our Christmas tree was always a surprise to us, that it was prepared in a shut-off room and we did not see it until we received our presents on Christmas Eve. My parents spent a great deal of time in decorating the tree and always had some special decorations under the tree. Sometimes there would be a zoo of animals or a manger scene. At other times there would be a little village with streets and little figures. Our Christmas trees were always cedar trees, and we all had a favorite ornament which we remembered and looked for each year at home and at our relatives. I can still remember when my grandfather Engelbrecht's tree was lighted with candles instead of electric lights. Clara would go into the living room first to light the candles, and then she would invite us into the dark room. The candles really sparkled, and her tree impressed me more than the electrically lit ones. The candles were not allowed to burn for very long because of the fire hazard, and there was always a bucket nearby as protection. I have a few of those candle holders Clara used. Claire also had some very handsome ornaments shaped like apples, peaches, and pears, which I always admired. The best of all to me on her tree were some old handmade glass icicles. I always looked for these. She had a dozen or more, and there were several different kinds. Only one of these has survived, and I have brought that along this evening. At home, I cannot remember a Christmas tree that did not have 3 particular cotton Santa Claus ornaments.